by the 2020 Rocket Mortgage Classic, July 2nd through the 5th at the historic Detroit Golf Club. Now, here's Paul W. Smith.
Well, a very special good Monday morning, or rather Thursday morning to you. God, I'm not going back to start the week over again.
No.
This coming Monday, we have off, so I'm not going to skip that one. So anyway, the day is May 21st, the 142nd day of 2020. There are 224 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. I would like to make it official, though the study says it's official. Almost half of Americans don't always wear pants while working from home. I am happy to say, with confidence, I am wearing pants, actually shorts, and I would like to assert, I'm pretty sure of this too, that every one of my colleagues I'm about to introduce to you are wearing pants. Dick Hafner, our news director, I think Dick wears pants when he's even in a swimming pool. We also have Dana Clark, and though it's iffy sometimes, I'm going to guess that she has pants on at least for our broadcast. And as far as Ann Thomas goes, I guarantee you she is wearing pants. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Dub. Happy Friday Eve.
Yes. Yeah, Friday Eve. And then there should be an even more special designation for the Friday before a Monday holiday.
Yes.
Which is what we have.
How about this? This is good.
Pretty good. Mr. Hafner, quickly a note. I certainly understand because the headline, and I even asked Tony Michaels about this, the headline is the Ford fireworks moves to a special televised-only display on Monday, August 31st. At the end of the first page of that press release, it does say, in addition, a special radio simulcast will be hosted by Paul W. Smith on News Talk 760 WJR. So it's going to be up to you to change the headline because everyone's going to say it's going to be a television-only event because that's what the headline says. But way down at the bottom, it does mention that WJR will once again, as we have traditionally, will be broadcasting from this time an empty rooftop small party, depending on how many engineers we bring with us. But we will be on the air for the fireworks August 31st. All right, Dick? I can't hear Dick. Can anyone else hear Dick?
No, sir.
No? All right. I saw his lips
I'll
moving.
be there, Paul W. I'll go to that one. It'll be nice and empty.
Oh, yeah, that's getting home will be very, very.
Yes, I want a ticket for that one.
Dick is on mute, we're told here.
I may be here now.
There, you're here now. Yeah.
Okay.
He's here. We're all
here. I didn't understand the technical aspects of this setup, but I'm glad that we're going to be simulcasting the fireworks. That makes sense, and I figured as much.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So your headline will now include a television and radio only event. Speaking of events, it is 5:42 and we're about to have what we like to call one of our features. Stay with us and I'll explain at 5:42.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Right now, there's a child living in extreme poverty with no future and no hope. But you can bring hope when you become a Compassion International sponsor. Just text the word child to 83393 and sponsor a child right now.
And that feature is our traffic and weather first on News Talk 760 WJR. And for that, at 5:43, we call upon Dana Clark.
Traffic First, also sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy, a true Michigan family business. Guernsey is celebrating 80 years of award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products. Because of you, for generations, Guernsey has been able to adapt and endure. From their family to yours, thank you. When you visit your local grocer, remember to taste the Guernsey difference. Starting off with a couple of accidents out there in Detroit. The first spot, a Lodge southbound at Wyoming. Earlier accident just cleared. 275 southbound at Ann Arbor Road. A crash there is blocking the left shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, a Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com.
Trying to get things to move along, and I think we will here. We'll have a couple of dry days, mostly dry. Today, cloud, sunshine, 69. And tomorrow, just a few showers early with a high of 71. And maybe even Saturday with a few clouds. But then Sunday and Monday, a few showers and thunderstorms will be back in the forecast and warmer weather. From a Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
And at this time, we always let Rush come in and say hello. He's with us from noon till 3, Monday through Friday. But first thing in the morning, he has his little report that we like to share with you right here.
We have a legal decision on sanctuary.
Thank you. I want all those pages. It's not that I didn't want them.
We are clear now for a bit. We are only on Facebook Live, gang. So hello to all of our Facebookers this morning. And we took the commercials out of this because our Facebook group was hearing the commercials over some of our stuff. So there's some type of a lapse in time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a technical issue that we're trying to work on, which is why we can't be on the whole time. So
Explanations provided by Ann Thomas. And by tomorrow, that explanation will be sponsored.
I noticed that, though, with regard to listening to Alexa from home. So when I have Alexa on, I notice a little lag time. She's in the other room.
Oh, well, but not for a lot of us. A-L-E-X-A. Mine is way off in the other room, too.
Yes. But I noticed that there's a little lag time there, too, and a little lag time on the app. So not everything directly matches the sound coming out of the radio.
Well, I can say this. At this hour of the morning, there's a lag time with your host. As well.
Thursday, I'm on the struggle bus.
Yeah, the struggle bus, baby.
Yeah, struggle.
Remember this.
Tough, you guys.
Thursday, Friday's Eve.
Yes.
And then something extra special given that we're off Monday.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Looking forward to that.
I see this light is more obvious today. Really, it's good. That light is everything.
Where's that light from?
Well, I have a little light here to read my paperwork.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
So I leave it like that? It's okay?
I like your pink shirt this morning.
Yeah,
it's lighting up my pink shirt and my white beard.
You look very nice.
Thank you. What, honey?
You need that ring light, Paul W.
Okay. I'm not sure what. Okay. See, Kim is hearing stuff a little different than I'm hearing stuff.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about. It's
like they're going to probably tell me in the WJR control room, which is Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis is, I think, at home. Lucky enough. He'll tell us underneath here when we're back with the actual broadcast. So this is these little conversations are special to the folks who are watching us on the website, right. Facebook, or YouTube.
This is what we do behind the scenes.
Right.
Quite a bit.
And apparently we're only doing this until 6:15. We thought we were going to be able to leave it up the entire time, but there's more tweaking that has to happen. And that's fine. That means I won't have 2 microphones and 2 sets of headphones to worry about, which gets to be a little tedious.
We are getting close, though, Dub, to being able to have you up for most of the show.
Well, I think everybody should be up when they're
doing their piece,
when they're doing their piece, and when we're interacting.
We're getting very close. Just a little bit more tweaking here before we do that, though.
Okay. By the way, to our Facebook, YouTube people, please go to the Paul W. Smith Story Time, which apparently is on WJR's YouTube page. It's like Story Time with Paul W. Smith. That's the children's book, Devin Skillion's new book, Memoirs of a Tortoise, which was being released this week, if all things went as planned, from the good folks that are allowing me to do this reading. And Curtis Paul said he made Storytime with Paul W. Smith a playlist on our WJR YouTube page, which we greatly appreciate. From Sleeping Bear Press, another great Michigan company. And of course, Devin is a great Michigan guy, being the anchor at Channel 4. So we're still, it's also on Paul's page at WJR.com. Thank you, Curtis. Oh, that's how
Welcome
we're
back to the 17th annual Paul W. Smith Virtual Pure Michigan Tour on WJR. Presented by Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org. WJR's transportation sponsor is Dean Trailways of Michigan. Online at DeanTrailways.com.
I want one
Paul's
of those.
Pure Michigan Tour broadcasts are also sponsored by Shepler's Mackinac Island Ferry, family owned and operated for over 70 years, and by Northwoods Wholesale Outlet in Pinconning. Today, we'll virtually explore the Rocket Mortgage Classic. This morning's broadcast is sponsored by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze, and by the 2020 Rocket Mortgage Classic, July 2nd through the 5th at the historic Detroit Golf Club. Once again, here's Paul W. Smith.
Well, thank you, Mr. Announcer. July 2nd through 5th, the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and I'm not sure which days, but some of those days, WJR Radio will be on location at the Great Detroit Golf Club, Annie's Club, among others, and we'll be there. Unfortunately, there won't be throngs of people because we don't believe throngs of people will be anywhere allowed July 2nd through 5th, including with the fireworks, which will be August 31st, but you will hear them on WJR and see them on Channel 4. Just so you know that. All right, what's going on? We've got a lot of stuff going on here. How about this? You buy a raffle ticket for $1 and you win in the raffle. Isn't that good?
Very good.
It's not a collection of wines or 5 or 10 restaurants you get to go to. On this raffle, you won for your $1 raffle ticket a Picasso painting worth $1.1 million.
Seriously?
That's my kind of raffle.
Wow. That's awesome.
Seriously. I mean, that's unbelievable.
That is very cool. Wow, that's great.
All right. I think there's a correction here.
Oh, boy.
I don't think it's $1. It was 100 euros.
Oh,
it's a little over $100.
That's not bad, though.
That's still good.
I still wish I had the ticket, and I would have happily paid. I would have paid 500 euros.
Yes.
Win that $1.1 million Picasso painting.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a summer beach house, plenty of great beach houses in northern Michigan, and eventually we'll be able to go to that hallowed land that is moved to phase 67 of the My Safe Michigan opening, or whatever we're calling it now. But if you wanted one in the Hamptons, you could have this one, and this one in the Hamptons is rather famous because it is where Jackie O summered, where Jackie Kennedy Onassis, used to spend her summers at this house that's for sale in the Hamptons, a charming house for $7.5 million. And I have to tell you, $7.5 million barely buys you what we call a charming house, which in the real estate language is a really small house that might not even fetch $100,000 virtually anywhere else, will sell for $7.5 million in the Hamptons.
Because it's the Hamptons.
Yeah. A place that's not terribly convenient to get to, really,
Right.
unless you're the hoity-toity and you helicopter in, which some people do. What else is going on, kids? Of course, the elephant in the room is the flooding that we don't want to talk about, but we have to continue to talk about. We've been talking about it for 2 days, and the story just kept getting worse and worse. What's the very latest, Dick, on all of that?
At least the Tittawawasee has crested, but it's going to take a long time for it to go down. They're still underwater in the city of Midland. They're still underwater in the other parts of the region. And a lot of this water is now flowing east. That's where the water flows from mid-Michigan, mostly east, like the Au River flows from the middle of the state out into Lake Huron. And so there are parts of Michigan far east all the way to the Lake Huron shore, which are now getting a lot of this water through their rivers and creeks. For example, in the town of Omer, which has a bridge over the Rifle River, which is a real popular recreational river, that bridge is washed out. That's way, way east of Midland. So the ramifications of this keep widening.
It's unbelievable, and it led the national news last night. It was, in fact, the first, or as we say, lead story in the national news. And unfortunately, one of the reasons it led is because there are so many devastating pictures and videos available to show the devastation. And at last I heard that they knew of no fatalities. I thought there was an 18-year-old young woman who they said was washed away at one point. Maybe they found her, I hope and pray. But thus far, as you look at the devastation, as you'll see or saw on the television news last night, and you'll see in this morning's newspapers, the devastation is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And as you say, Dick, it's going to take a very long time to clean all of that up, to rebuild, to see houses floating down the waterways. I mean, it's almost undescribable and unthinkable. And in fact, the governor said, well, here we are in the middle of a 100-year pandemic with a once in 500 years flood event. It is not easy. It certainly is giving her a chance to be a governor and to lead. And some people are way against what she's done, and some people are way for it. And according to a poll that I think was done by the Greater Detroit Regional Chamber or somebody like that, the poll said Michigan voters are showing support for Governor Whitmer's handling of coronavirus. That's what they say.
Interesting news.
The people who support her are not going out and protesting and holding up signs. Well, maybe they are counter-protesting now, but the people who aren't happy have certainly been heard, and people pay attention to them. But most of the people, according to this poll, and I can't tell exactly where I got it because I printed a bunch of stuff last night. This is from the Free Press, but I think, the poll released by the Detroit Regional Chamber. Yeah. That's who said it. So there you are. We've got more to talk about together right up till about 6:15. So right now it is 5:57 on a Thursday morning, Friday's Eve edition of the Paul W. Smith Show on WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Right now, there's a child living in extreme poverty with no future and no hope. But you can bring hope when you become a Compassion International sponsor. Just text the word child to 83393 and sponsor a child right now.
We've got our WJR traffic and weather. First, we've got Dana Clark.
And we've got an accident out there, 275 southbound at Ann Arbor Road. A collision is blocking the left shoulder. Hines Drive still shut down for flooding between Outer Drive and Ann Arbor Trail. Also closed eastbound and westbound along Hines Drive between Stark and Newburgh. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Hopefully you got out and enjoyed that sunshine yesterday. More sun, more clouds today, even warmer. A high of 69 degrees, the low 53 for Friday to kick off the holiday weekend. Some sun, some clouds once again, a high of 74. And Saturday looks like we remain dry, partly cloudy skies and a high near 80. Kicking in at 77. Partly cloudy, currently 54 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Now, do we talk amongst ourselves, or is the news going to come on? I think the news will come on so that our folks that are with us just online will be able to hear the news. Is that right, Ann?
I have to defer to Curtis on that. Curtis, is that what's going to happen? He'll tell us in our little chat.
So it won't be on here. It says, Brian says, I have to take news off Access.
So not on Facebook. So we can just chat amongst ourselves with our Facebook.
So we're not taking away from the news for the folks on Facebook. And obviously for the folks on Facebook, I hope that you will listen on WJR Radio when we're done with Facebook. Obviously, that's how we exist. That's how we keep our jobs.
Well, and you can also have that on while you're watching Facebook too. You could have it on your phone or Alexa or anything else. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot you could actually watch this and listen to at the same time, which would be the best way to do it.
It would be the best way for you to do it, and it would be helpful to us for a lot of reasons as well.
So Jeffrey Ackerman would like to know if your shirt is pink or salmon. I said
Tim,
pink.
what color is my shirt? Pink or salmon? I think it's pink. And here's the thing. I said this to you yesterday, that I had a blue shirt on the first day.
Morning, Clay.
The next day, I was putting on a different blue shirt, but when I looked at it, I thought, that looks like the same blue. They're going to think I wore the same shirt 2 days in a row. See, that's the thing you don't worry about in radio. But now that we're doing it here on Facebook,
you have to pay more attention to this.
I have to pay more attention, which is why I stayed in radio, and now here I am.
Going back to the flooding, we should talk about this when we come back on the air. There's going to be hell to pay.
Oh, there's
HD2 Detroit, the great voice of the Great Lakes.
And it's also pretty interesting. I've been reading some of the stories about it. Yeah. It's very interesting to see how they have been dealing with this and knowing that there was an issue, but they weren't solving it until like 2023. And the one company was being sold to a task force, and
they're going to be hell.
It's going to be hell
in legal terms. There's going to be hell to pay.
There's going to be hell to pay. I'm telling you, it's
Kathy.
Fascinating. Good morning, Kathy.
Howell.
It's nice
to be on Facebook.
That you're with us.
So I have a question.
Facebook,
I have a Facebook question.
You have a Facebook question?
Yeah, it's going to sound ignorant because I don't have Facebook. So anyway, when messages...
I'm glad to hear you say that.
when
I have Facebook, I have no idea what I'm doing with it. Go ahead.
When messages come up that we see, is this posted on Facebook as well? Do other people see what people have posted, or just us?
Yes, okay. Everybody. Yeah. Well, anybody who goes on to the WJR Facebook page can see
the messages.
This all day long. They can see this little screenshots at some point. They can also see all of these messages.
And do they rerun this throughout the day?
No, but
I hope not.
No, but I think anybody could check it out. So if you're just
even
going
later in the day, you could
check out what we were up to this morning. Yes,
you can.
Sure. Yeah.
I see. That's part of it.
That's why we have to behave ourselves at all
times. This lives forever.
Tim has become a rather adept producer for this. She just went like this. And I don't even know what the heck that means. What does that mean, sweetheart? I used to do a television show every day.
Good morning, Steve.
It's over. Go. End.
Right. She knows the stretch, right?
Good morning, Bill. Bill says, some days I feel like I flew in on a helicopter.
Well, I understand the reference, Bill, like you were going to the Hamptons almost.
Good morning, Kathy.
St. Clair Shores in the house.
See, this is better than when we first started doing this, because we were fighting with the news and everything else. And I felt we were shortchanging our audience, and it sounded more confusing. So when we're off the radio and strictly here with you on Facebook. And we really, really appreciate you being with us at WJR.com, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. And appreciate you telling your friends about it. But we really appreciate it, too, when you continue to listen to 760 on the AM dial, WJR. Now you have a better feel for what we look like when you listen to us on the radio, or at least what we look like at 6:03 in the morning.
Right.
Well,
I don't have gray hair later in the day. Later in the day, I don't even have gray hair.
Oh, it turns brown?
It's a beautiful shade of auburn. I don't know.
And our Facebook listeners can tell us what they like. What would they like to see? Do they like this behind the scenes? Would they like a little bit more of the radio? Would they like us to stop talking?
Yeah,
whatever.
We're open to that.
We're open to all suggestions because we really don't know what we're doing.
Tell the truth. Doesn't Dick kind of look turtle-ish? Like a turtle with his head up there like that?
It is the look. I mean, we have to get him on a laptop.
Yeah, he's got to be able to look straight ahead instead of...
We need Dick on a laptop.
Oh, you're killing me.
God bless him.
He gets rolling. Have you noticed? He starts out a little slow, and a little tired. And then by 6 o'clock, he's done. He's rolling.
Who are you talking about, Dick?
I'm talking about you. The jokes start.
Well, I
and
have
the
to
shenanigans can, you
I
just
have to
kind
have
of rev
coffee.
up.
I have to have coffee.
So do I.
I can't imagine. Dana, you said the other day you had not. Well,
I'll wait until 6:15.
Why would you do that?
That's insane.
Something to look forward to.
I look forward to it at 5.
Well, I used to have time, my 2 minutes before when Dick was doing the news at 5:30. This has totally interrupted my whole situation.
I understand what you mean.
So
yeah,
I have to get up now and get a hat. Oh gosh, I don't know what's going on. But I have to try to find a hat and a shirt. Whereas before, I just rolled in my pajamas down here.
I can't wait till the sales department sells your hat space.
Right. Yeah, that's coming.
You've got the Red Wings on there. You had Hamilton.
Saying, go Wings.
You had New York.
What will it be tomorrow?
I think this means we're coming back.
This is Paul W. Smith's 2020 Virtual Pure Michigan Tour, presented by Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org. WJR's transportation sponsor is Dean Trailways of Michigan, online at deantrailways.com. Paul's Pure Michigan Tour broadcasts are also sponsored by Shepler's Mackinac Island Ferry, family owned and operated for over 70 years, and by Northwoods Wholesale Outlet in Pinconning. Today, we'll virtually explore the Rocket Mortgage Classic. This morning's broadcast is sponsored by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze, and by the 2020 Rocket Mortgage Classic, July 2nd through the 5th at the historic Detroit Golf Club. Now, here's Paul W. Smith.
Good Thursday morning to you, or as we've started calling it, Friday's Eve, and we even have to have a different name because it's not just Friday Eve. It is going into a weekend where most of us will have Monday off. I know that sounds funny because everyone's had off, although a lot of us have continued to work from home. I did get a kick out of our fine office manager putting up what had to be an automatic announcement saying the office would close at 2 o'clock on Friday.
I laughed too.
There's nobody in the office but Brian. So,
right.
Which does not mean it's insignificant, but you know what I mean.
Kind of.
God bless her. She has a good sense of humor. Thursday, May 21st, the 142nd day of 2020. There are 224 days left in the year. Make each and every day count each day as a gift. We've got the team together that are going to inform you and entertain you right up until 9 o'clock this morning. That includes Dick Hafner, our WJR news director, Dana Clark checking traffic and weather, and we'll have some good places to get some good food, maybe some movies to watch online, things like that, and of course our executive producer, Ann Thomas.
I have a little name for this. Happy Friday Holiday Eve.
That's a winner.
You like that?
Yes.
Happy Friday Holiday Eve.
Yes.
And on Monday, we are going to have a special Paul W. Smith show. So you will actually still be on the air, but it will be special.
See, we never do best of because to tell you the truth, I'm not going to tell you totally the truth, but with best of on a morning drive show, generally speaking, you want some human being there live talking about what's going on, not hearing me interview President Bush a few years ago or any number of other people. I mean, it's not pertinent to a morning show. But now, with everything going on, apparently it is going to be okay for us to have a recorded show. I always used to say, when they run recorded shows, it's because the host is afraid to have anyone sit in for them. but it actually these days is because the company probably doesn't want to pay to have an extra host sit in for them. I don't know what the point is.
There's some good interviews in there. There's some books. We tried to put some authors in there that people might still be interested in hearing about, and stories and things like that. So there's some pretty good stuff in there. I think people will enjoy it.
Well, I think when I interviewed the members of the Bible, I think that will hold some interest.
That will go for quite some time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us at 760 WJR, also on our website, Facebook, and YouTube. And what a difference a day or two makes. Jim Mestaw sent me another note. Remember, he's on the board at Northwood University, and it's astonishing how things change with the drop of a dam. And Midland is in a state of emergency with the historic flooding, and he sent me pictures at Northwood University, and man, they're in trouble. They're underwater.
Terrible.
And they need help. And there's a campus recovery fund that will provide immediate resources to begin the important restoration work. And they want to ensure that students are able to return with confidence. Remember, they announced they are going to have in-person classes. University of Detroit Mercy has announced they're planning on in-person classes. And it's interesting. The tide is turning in that regard, isn't it?
It was interesting. UD Mercy said it was going to be a hybrid program. And that sounds to me like the bigger classes, Dick is shaking his head, I hope I'm right about this, that the bigger classes, like the lectures, will be online, and then the smaller classes will be in person. Does that sound like what a lot of schools are doing?
I think U of M is doing
that. A lot of schools, or most of them, are doing. Yes, it'll be a hybrid between in-person classes, the smaller ones, and the big hall lectures where there are 200 or 300 students. Those will be online.
What do they do about dorm living? Have we heard anything about that?
Some of the colleges have said they're only going to have one person in a dorm room. Exactly how they're going to handle this, I don't know, because how do you expand room in dorms to cover everybody that you want to put into them if you're only putting one student in a dorm room? I don't know how they're going to handle that, but that's what some of the universities have said.
That there's going to be one person in the dorm room until the resident advisor leaves the building.
Uh-oh. You're right.
I mean, this is college, for God's sakes. There's a great story here. See, I made you put it back in. I thought I'd be able to find this so easily. So at the back, Kim has found that the top destinations ranked America's 20 best places to travel during the coronavirus, plus top beaches, small towns, and more. And we are well represented by Mackinac Island. Around the country or around the world, this list of the top destinations, they say to travel during the coronavirus, they say Mackinac Island. When does the island open, or has the island opened? Should we call Chris Shepler?
I believe that it opens on June 21st. That was the date that I heard a little bit ago. And the Grand Hotel had a new tentative opening for June 22nd.
Is that still on?
Confirm that. We need to see if that's changed at all.
Yeah, we could give Kenny Hayward a call, but that of course has changed a lot. I mean, a lot of things have changed a lot. We did announce, Dick did in the news, that the Ford fireworks will take place August 31st without crowds, and it'll be on the radio and on WJR and on television, Channel 4. So this was, I thought, fascinating. With everything being canceled, and virtually everything has been, the Dream Cruise cities, according to Bill Leitner in the Detroit Free Press, the Dream Cruise cities voted to cancel the 2020 Dream Cruise because of the coronavirus concerns. You know, there are some people who would have thought when you get that many people involved in something that need to vote to go yay or nay, they'd go yay. They went nay. Mm-hmm. The very people who are involved in this thing.
That was smart. I mean, you have to. We are not surprised now at all the things that are being canceled. Is Christmas canceled? Is Christmas still on?
Christmas is still on.
Okay.
To the best
Could
of
be
my
canceled.
knowledge.
Could be canceled.
More evidence that wearing a mask can reduce coronavirus transmission. The stories like this, for obvious reasons, because we were saying this 2 months or longer ago. Now they're finally figuring it out. So, whatever. Did you see that one story? Now, it was in the New York Times, so that makes it shaky. But that if we had started self-distancing, physically distancing a week earlier, 36,000 lives would have been saved. But again, it's the New York Times, so it's not reliable. It is 6:14 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by California Closets. California Closets clients can now enjoy a virtual design consultation. Save 15% off your custom solution plus no payments for 12 months. Call 248-624-1234 today for your virtual design consultation or visit californiaclosets.com.
It occurs to me this is where we say goodbye to the team on camera, but of course we're here right up till 9 o'clock at 760 on the AM dial, WJR. And it's important to us that you continue listening on WJR, on your radio or your various electronic devices. Very important to us. We do have at 6:14 our WJR Traffic and Weather First and Dana Clark.
That earlier accident along 275, that's a collision